What's up, everybody? This is Fray bringing you sweet audio tea available with your choice of tapioca pearls or rainbow jelly. This audio is copyright 2006 WCReplays.com, so don't go stealing it. Get the game paused at the 15-second mark, because for once in my life I'm actually going to talk about the build orders for a minute. And I will be doing an Undead Mirror game today. I got a lot of requests when I did a couple of Fiend Undead Mirrors, or where the Fiend player was going up against a Ghoul player and won. And I got a lot of requests to show ghouls owning it up, because I know there are many of you that would much rather play ghouls, and there are many good reasons to be doing that. Anyway, I hope you've gotten this audio paused, because I don't feel like stalling for any longer, so get it going in 3, 2, 1... unpause. At the 15-second mark, I'm actually going to look at the observer point of view. The observers talk a hell of a lot in this game, so if that bothers you, feel free to switch it to just go stop and turn the fog of war off or something like that. Go ahead, though, and take a look at Abver's base. He's doing it's a kind of a new audio, a new build order, as far as I'm concerned. It's something I've seen popping up in pro games in the past few months, although I'm sure it's been around for quite a bit longer than that. But the gist of it is you go Altar and Ziggurat at the beginning, then you get your Graveyard, and you delay your Crypt as a result until a little bit later. I actually see this being used against Orc more than anything else, and what the whole idea is that you're going for a Fiend build. You delay the Fiends a little bit and get your Death Knight out faster in order to harass your opponent, because you can't creep that fast with like the Death Knight and the original 2 Fiends. It's better to build up like 3 or 4 and then start creeping, and while you're waiting for that, go ahead and harass. And as I'm sure you all know, Death Knight harassment is quite a bit more effective if you can get the Death Knight out earlier. Anyhow, Ghost Stop scouts Abver's base, and he makes, I believe, his decision on what to do early in the game based off the fact that he saw this build order. He's actually going to go creep as opposed to harassing right away. Either way, creeping is still a viable option, even if you saw, say, a normal Fiend build. However, if you're seeing somebody doing this build and their Death Knight's coming out early, they're basically going to be tailing you with that Death Knight, because they can't really creep with it. In most cases, people will get a Nerubian Tower. So, and basically if they see you trying to like ghoul rush them or something like that, even though it seems like that would be a good idea, it really wouldn't work very well, because they have their Graveyard out early, and that means they can pop one of their Ziggurats into a Spirit Tower, which is really going to put the hurt on your little ghoul rush. Also, the general idea of it is you get 3 ghouls before you build your first Fiend, and this gives you a really fast tech. That's the other advantage of this different build order that Abver is using, and then it gets you going towards Tier 2, and of course the very powerful Undead Tier 3 a bit quicker. Anyway, so Ghost Stop is going to be harassing, and we're going to see him employing kind of some anti-harass techniques that normally are in the domain of like human or night elf or even orc. One of the things that you can do is, send a few of your units to try and attack the Death Knight, and try and get him low on health, because once that Death Knight gets low on health, he's going to have to back off or risk getting Nova'd and having to TP or die or whatever. And that sucks. Another thing you can do, this is kind of unique to the Lich, the other races don't really have this advantage, is that your Frost Nova is going to do 150 damage a pop to whatever you target it to, and I think 100 splash damage to the units around it. The whole deal is, so that basically gives you first pick of when a unit dies. If the DK is trying to coil steal the creep from you, all you have to do is get it with Frost Nova right around the time that it has 150 hit points left, and you will guarantee yourself the kill. In fact, Ghost Stop just did that right there. I wouldn't recommend, in general, you want to be kind of conservative with your Frost Novas. It's something that pros do a lot better than me, I've noticed. I tend to just kind of spam them, and that really is a mistake. You don't have that many to play around with, and they're very powerful if used in the right place, so... you know, if it's one of those things where you're risking that he might steal some, like, little level 1 creep or something like that, don't go blowing your Frost Nova on that. Save it for, like, the level 3s and level 5s and things like that. Now that Abver has, like I said, Abver's got, like, 3 fiends out right now, and he's going to go ahead and start creeping his Death Knight. That's basically just how that strategy works. You harass for a little while, and then once you actually have an army to creep with, you back off and you creep, and then just kind of take advantage of the fact that you got a quick tech out of the whole deal. Ghostop managed to get his Lich to level 3. That is really ideal when you're going ghouls against a fiend user. The level 2 Frost Nova makes it a lot easier to pick off fiends. It's only a little bit extra damage, but that combined with the fact that your Lich is going to have more mana for being level 3 is very helpful. So yeah, it's one of those things where all you have to do, really what you're seeking, once the Fiend player starts creeping, is you want to start looking for creep jacks. Ideally, you get your Lich to level 3. I don't think it's the end of the world if he's not. It's really, really important, though. The critical thing, and you're going to see Ghostop trying to do this pretty much all game, is you really want to knock the fiends out from under your opponent. You really, your main goal when you're going Lich Ghouls against a fiend user, well, there's two. One is that you want to try and kill his acolytes off while he's in the middle of tech. But the other thing that you want to do is just keep his fiend numbers low, because if he's having to replace those fiends, it's going to slow him down in getting the units that are really going to screw your ghouls over, namely destroyers or potentially a frostworm. If he's able to build up a nice bed of about 5 to 6 fiends, he's going to get the destroyers or frostworms. He's going to have magic damage, and your ghouls are kind of going to get vaporized before you can close the gap and start screwing him up. So very much the onus is on the ghoul player to keep the match as low supply as possible. You don't want both of you breaking like 50 supply without you bugging the hell out of him. And Ghostop is going to do his damnedest during this game. In fact, if you look at him right now, he's just wandering around with his Lich looking for a creep jack. He can't really do anything else because he's very short on lumber. That is one of the things that you have to deal with when you're going ghouls. Whenever you're on the offensive, that means that you don't have much of anything collecting lumber for you. So sometimes you're going to have to back off and start harvesting wood. And when you do that, you basically just want to get kind of creative with your heroes. Either go looking for creep jacks or try and like creep some easy stuff, and let yourself build up a little bit of lumber before you kind of go on the offensive again. Ghostop, like I said, he spent a little time running around trying to find Abver's army. He didn't succeed, so what he's doing right now actually is pushing Abver's base, and that forced Abver to town portal in. His timing, I would say, was actually a little late on that push. Ideally, you'd want to be doing it while he was